So I,
You're
yeah.
speaking pretty good actually. Like so far, you're speaking a pretty good. I don't see any issues there. So we can so what we can do is that like we can all share something, and or you can, we can talk about something and then I can correct the English, or what do you want? Like, I'm open to anything. It's my first class, so I didn't know what to expect.
No, ma'am, but actually, firstly, you are live in California, so uh, or you are from Indian, and you know very well our societies. Many of people's not speaking well. See, he has good knowledge about everything, but he has never expressed ourselves in English
No,
way. Actually,
yeah,
he has hesitated all time.
right. So, that I think that's the problem with almost everyone. So what I suggest is like reading books. So like I can join these meetings on the weekends actually, because weekdays I have another class from 5:30 to 6:30. So I'm only free by like 7 every day on weekdays. So, but like what we can do is like right today, what do you want to do? Do you want to have like we can read a document? Like, is there anything that you guys have in specific? But in general, what I have learned is that like if you really want to improve your English, one of the things is that you start reading a lot, like just some normal books, and then the words. So what I started doing is like any new word that I found in the books that I used to read, I started making a separate list of those words. So then when you're reading in a book, and you read the meaning of that, it just makes so much meaning, to understand that. So that's something that I used to learn English.
Yes, ma'am.
So is there any document that you guys have?
Uh,
I have something. So, uh, is it just you, Naveen, and Pankaj? You help with everything.
yes, ma'am.
I- Is it only you who's here for learning English?
No, ma'am. I think more than 10 people here, but some issues actually he is unable to join the classes.
Okay, okay,
He or
okay.
she. Yes, sir.
Okay, so I can share my screen, and there is this text that
Yes, ma'am.
one of you, do you want to read? So then like at the end of every paragraph I can correct you what is not right. We can do that.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so I can share my screen.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, one second. Okay, can you see my screen? Can you see my screen?
Yes, yes, ma'am.
Okay,
T-
so um Naveen, do you want to start reading the first paragraph and then we can
Yes,
talk about it? Okay.
yes. In in the sixth century, an age of great marine, and actually, ma'am, we are reading in cell phone. So actually, I have a little bit problem we are facing from Zoom. Yes, now
Uh-huh.
it is okay. In the sixth
Okay.
century, an age of great marine and terrestrial explorations, Fred, Frednal Meg, Magellan led the first expe- expedite to sail around the world young young Porteous novel. He saved the king of no beta, my pardon. The king no
Mm-hmm.
पापा काम कर रहे बेटा particle but he become involved in the cu- cuisine of polo- uh, political intrigues of court and lost the king's favor after he was dis- dismissed from service by the king of Portugal. He offered to serve the future emperor Charles V of Spain.
Okay. So you did a pretty good job. There are some words that were not right. So,
Yes,
and
yes,
I will
ma'am.
also tell you, when you have a comma, how much should you stop when you have a full stop. So, all these things matter a lot, even when we are having conversations. So, I will read it very slowly, and I will also point out some of the words that you did not correct.
Yes,
So,
yes, ma'am.
okay, so we say in the 16th century, so there is a comma. You
Yes,
stop for like 2 seconds. So an age of great marine. Marine means anything related to water. So like we
yes,
have, you know that, right? Okay. And terrestrial exploration. There's a comma. I'll take a break again. And then Ferdinand Magellan led the first expedition. So, can you repeat that word expedition?
expeditions.
Correct. So, led the first expedition to sail around the world as a young Portuguese. So, this was the word that you did not say correct Portuguese. So, you know the country Portugal?
No, ma'am. As a
Okay,
young
so
Portugal.
there is this country that is called Portugal. Portugal, Portugal.
Yes,
So, like anybody who lives in Portugal is Portuguese. So, they're saying as a young Portuguese noble, he served the king of Portugal. So, he was the king of Portugal, but he became involved in the quagmire. So, how you pronounce this is quagmire. Is that fine? Quagmire.
immigration court of plastic.
Okay. Uh,
Yes,
okay. Of political intrigue at court. So, intrigue is the word, and lost the king's favor. After he was dismissed from service by the king of
king
Portugal,
of
he offered to serve the future emperor Charles V of Spain. Is that fine?
yes, ma'am.
Okay, so do you want to read the next paragraph, or if there's anyone else who wants to read it? Go for it.
Nirdosh sir.
Hello, sir. Hello, ma'am. Hello, everyone.
Hello.
So, can I read? Can I read, ma'am?
Yes. Can you read from a papal decree?
Okay. A papal decree of 1493 had assigned all land in the New World west of 1550 degree we lo- lodged to Spain and all the land east of the line of Portugal. Uh, Magellan offered to prove that the East Indians fell under Spanish authority. One September 19, Magellan set sail from Spain with 5 ships. More than a year later, one of these ships was exploring the topography of South America in search of a water route, route across the continent. This ship sank, but the remaining 4 ships surged along the southern peninsula of America. Finally, they found the passage they south near 50 degrees as uh, la- latitude. latitude. Mangela nomad, this passage is straight of all sands, but today it is known as the strain of Mangala.
Okay, yeah.
Once it
That was Yeah, that's okay. We'll
okay,
just talk about this paragraph first. So I think
okay,
you said almost all the words correctly. So on the first line we have we have a papal decree of 1493 had assigned all land in the New World west of 50 degrees west. Now this word is longitude. So you know when
longitude.
longitude, correct. So what is longitude? So you know Google Maps have coordinates, right? When you want to go from somewhere to somewhere, we have coordinates. Those coordinates
Mhm.
are actually longitude and latitude. So latitude is in the bottom second line. So those were the two words that you did not get correctly, but other than that, you were right. Or you said everything correctly. So if you
Okay,
could just repeat longitude and latitude.
longitude.
Yeah, and then on the second last paragraph, finally they found the passage they sought near 50 degrees south latitude. So
Latitude.
latitude, correct, yes. Okay, you can read the next paragraph.
Longitude and latitude almost both are similar, man.
What is that? No, they're not
Longitude.
similar. So longitude plus latitude gives you the coordinates of a place. So both of them have
Okay.
to be there to have a current location, a geographical location. For that, you need both longitude and latitude.
Mhm. Okay.
Okay, so you can read from One Ship Deserted.
Okay. I can continue, ma'am.
Yes, please.
Okay. One ship deserted while in this passage and returned to Spain. So, favor soilers were privileged to gaze at that first panorama of the uh, Pacific Ocean. Those who remained across the marine know, known as the International Date Line in the earlier spring of 1521 after 98 days on the Pacific Ocean. During those long days at sea, many of Mangela's men die of starvation and disease. Starvation
Okay.
and disease.
Okay. So, a few words here. One ship deserted while in this passage and returned to Spain. So, fewer sailors were privileged. Privileged is the word. And do you know what privilege means? It means to have special rights, advantages. That's privileged. When we say that, like, if someone is born in a rich family, we say you're privileged, because you have an advantage because you were born with money, so that's privileged. uh
Yeah,
to gaze to gaze at that first panorama in the Pacific Ocean, this was okay. Those who remained crossed the meridian now known as the International Date Line in the early spring of 1521 after 98 days on the Pacific Ocean. During those long days at sea, many of Magellan's men died of. So these are the two words: starvation and disease.
disease.
So the first word is starvation. Can you say that?
Starvation means man. This is name of any disease.
So starvation is when you are almost on the verge of dying because of food, because of hunger. You
Oh,
starve to death. That means you did not have enough food, and so you're about to die. So that is starvation.
oh,
So can you say the word?
starvation.
Perfect. Okay. Okay. Now, uh, yeah, you can read the remaining two paragraphs.
Last.
Yeah, the last one, correct.
Later, Magellan became involved in the insular conflict conflict in the Philippines and was killed in a naval battle. Only one ship and 17 sailors under the command of the Denku navigator Elon survived to complete the westward journey to Spain and thus prove once and for all that the world is round, with no specific, 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 uh, specific at the edge, with no specific at the word, at the edge.
Okay, yeah, I think it's fine. So, insular conflict, tribal battle. So, one thing that I noticed is like later Magellan. So, you said become, but we have to understand the present and past tense. So, later
Became,
Magellan became, yes. So, pay
became, yeah,
attention to the tense, whether it's a present tense, whether it's a past tense.
past tense.
Uh, yeah. So I think, yeah, this, yeah, and then other than that, the Basque is a name. Navigator Elcano survived to complete the westward journey to Spain and thus prove once and for all that the world is round, with no precipice at the edge. No precipice means there's no rock. It's basically a kind of rock that precipice is.
Okay.
Okay, so Do you want to read another one, or if there's anyone that you guys have,
Which one, ma'am?
do you have
Can you?
any other one, or do you want me to share it?
No, ma'am. I don't have.
Okay, what about Naveen? Do you have anything you want to read?
Please continue,
Okay, I'm
ma'am.
sharing another one.
Yes, yes.
Huh?
I said, ma'am, please continue, ma'am.
Are you okay? Yeah, yeah. I'm actually finding another one. Give me 1 second. I'll share my screen. Okay. Okay. So who wants to read next?
I want to read, ma'am.
Okay, go ahead, Kushi.
I can continue now.
Yes, please. Please start from Marie Curie.
Yeah, okay, ma'am. Marie Curie was one of the most accomplished scientists in history. Together with her husband, Peary, she discovered radium, an element widely used for treating cancer, and study uranium and other radioactive substances. Peary and Marie amicable collaboration, collaboration later helped to unlock the secrets of the atom.
Okay. Yeah, I think you were pretty fine with the pronunciations. You can continue reading.
Mary was born in 1867 in Warsaw, Poland, where her father was professor of physics. At an early age, she displayed a brilliant mind and a blitz personality. Her great exuberance of learning prompted her to continue with her studies after high school. She became disgruntled, however, when she learned that the university in Warsaw was closed to women. Determined to receive a higher education, she, she, def- she definitely left Poland and in 1891 entered the Sorbonne, a French university, where she earned her master's degree and doctorate in physics.
Okay. So just
Sorry,
if
ma'am,
yeah,
doctorate,
sorry, what was that?
doctorate in physics.
Yes, okay. That's fine. So I'll just read it once again so you guys can follow. But you did a pretty good job. There were just two words that I'll call out. So Marie Curie was one of the most accomplished scientists in history. Together with her husband, Pierre, she discovered radium, an element widely used for treating cancer, and studied uranium and other radioactive substances. Pierre and Mary's amicable collaboration. So, amicable means friendly, you know. So, when you're amicable, you're like friendly towards someone. So, like, while reading, try to take notes of the words that we're discussing. So that ways you will also keep learning the words. And in this, we'll also try to talk about like how is it being used. So Pierre and Mary's amicable collaboration later helped to unlock the secrets of the atom. Mary was born in 1867 in Warsaw, Poland, where her father was a professor of physics. At an early age, she displayed a brilliant mind and a blithe personality. Her great exuberance for learning prompted her to continue with her studies after high school. She became disgruntled. So that was one of the words, Kushi. It's disgruntled.
Okay, ma'am.
And
What is,
disgruntled means
yeah,
angry.
yeah, okay, ma'am.
Okay, and then there is a word exuberance. Does anybody know that meaning? Exuberance means being full of energy. Okay, so so
Okay, ma'am.
she so, so she became disgruntled. However, when she learned that the university in Warsaw was close to women, so be very careful about a single woman and plural women. So we have singulars and plurals. So for women, it's women. For man, men. I think you guys know about it. So determined to receive a higher education, she defiantly left Poland and in 1891 entered the Sorbonne, a French university, where she earned her master's degree and doctorate in physics. So yeah, so you can continue reading now, Kushi.
Mary was fortunate to have studied at the Sorbonne with some of greatest scientists of her day, one of whom was Pierre Curie. Pierre Curie. Marie and Pierre was married in 1895 and spent many productive years working together in physics laboratory. A short time after they discovered radium, Pierre was killed by a horse-drawn wagon in 1906. Mary was stunned by stunned by this horrible misfortune and endured heartbreaking anguish. Despondently, she recalled their close relationship and the joy that they had shared in scientific research. The fact that she had two young daughters to raise by herself greatly increased her distress.
Okay, I think that is the last paragraph. Uh, yeah, you can just finish it and then we'll discuss both of them together.
Curie's feelings of desolation finally began to fade when she was asked to succeed her husband as a physics professor at the Sorbonne. She was the first woman to be given a professorship at the world famous university. In 1911, she received the Nobel Prize in Chemistry for isolating radium. Although Marie Curie eventually suffered a fatal illness from her long exposure to radium, she never became disillusioned about her work. Regardless of consequences, she had dedicated herself to scientists and to revealing the mysteries of physical world.
Okay. Okay, and just a few words that were not correct, but other than that, you did a good job. So I'll read it. Mary was fortunate to have studied at the Sorbonne with some of the greatest scientists of her day, one of whom was Pierre Curie. Mary and Pierre were married in 1895 and spent many productive years working together in the physics laboratory. A short time after they discovered radium, Pierre was killed by a horse-drawn wagon in 1906. Mary was stunned by this horrible misfortune, and so two words pay attention: endured, heartbreaking. Can you repeat that, Kushi? Can you read that again?
Endured heartbreaking.
Breaking. You know something breaks? Heart breaking.
Yeah, okay, ma'am.
Heartbreaking anguish. Despondently, she recalled their close relationship and the joy that they had shared in scientific research. The fact that she had two young daughters to raise by herself greatly increased her distress. Curie's feeling of desolation, that was one of the words that you didn't pronounce. So, desolation finally began to fade when she was asked to succeed her husband as a physics professor at the Sorbonne. She was the first woman to be given a professorship at the world famous university. In 1911, she received the Nobel Prize in Chemistry for isolating radium. Although Marie Curie eventually suffered a fatal illness from her long exposure to radium, she never became disillusioned. Can you repeat that word?
Disillusion.
Yeah. Does anybody know the meaning of disillusion? It means disappointed in something or someone. So she was disappointed. So it says although she suffered from an illness, she was never disappointed about her work. Regardless of the consequences, she had dedicated herself to science and to revealing the mysteries of the physical world. So, did everybody follow the passage? Naveen, Nirdosh, did you guys understand the passage? Little
Yes,
bit?
ma'am.
Okay. So, Naveen, read the next one. I'm just scrolling to the next one. Okay. Read this one.
Meanwhile, ma'am.
From
अच्छा
Mount Vesuvius.
okay, ma'am. Mount Vesuvius, a volcano located between the ancient Italian cities of Pompeii and Herculaneum, has received much attention because of its request and distractive Euro- Europeans. The most famous of the most famous of these Europeans accused in AD 79.
Okay. So, some of the words you did not read correctly. So,
Yes,
first of all, it's Mount Vesuvius, a volcano located between the ancient Italian cities of Pompeii. So, Pompeii is the name of a city, and Herculaneum. These are the name of two cities. Has received much attention because of its frequent and destructive eruptions. The most famous of these eruptions occurred. So, just can you read the last line again, Naveen?
G occurred in occurred.
No, no. The most famous of these, can you read this whole thing?
The most famous of these Europeans
Eruptions.
eruption occurred in AD 17.
Yes. Okay, continue reading.
The wall the volcano had been inactive for centuries. These was little of the coming eruptions. All thoughts one accounts unearthed earth,
Archaeologists.
archaeologists
Mhm.
say that say that a hard rain and a strong wind has disturbed the celestial calm during the preceding night. Early the next morning, the volcano poured a huge river of molten rock down upon Herculaneum, completely burning the city and filling the harbor with coagulated lava.
Okay, I think just except for a few words, it was good. So read on the next one, and I'll read both of them together.
Yes, ma'am. Next.
Yes.
Meanwhile, actually, I have find out a new words for me. First time I have so that man, so I'm able to read out.
Okay.
Uh, yes. Meanwhile, on the other side of mountain, cinders, stone, and us rain down on Pompeii, Pompeii, burning as ignited the combustible rooftops quickly. Lava portions of the city were destroyed in the conflagrations. Fire, however, was not the only cause of destructions. Pyrocyanosis, sulfuric gases strophated the air. These heavy gases were not burned in all in the atmosphere and therefore sank towards the earth and suffocated people.
Okay. Okay. I'll read from the second paragraph now. The volcano had been active for centuries. There was a little warning of the coming eruption, although one account unearthed by archaeologists. So, archaeologists, is there anybody who knows the meaning of this word? No? Okay, so archaeologists are people who study about the human history, about all the previous history, people
Yes,
who
yes,
used to live.
yes, yes, yes,
Yes,
previous
so that
history.
is, yes, so that is a new word for all of you then. Unearthed by archaeologists says that a hard rain and a strong wind had disturbed the celestial calm during the preceding night. Early the next morning, the volcano poured a huge river of molten rock down upon Herculaneum, completely burying the city and filling the harbor with coagulated lava. Meanwhile, on the other side of the mountain, cinders, stone, and ash rained down on Pompeii. Sparks from the burning ash ignited the combustible rooftops quickly. Large portions of the city were destroyed in the conflagration. Fire, however, was not the only cause of destruction. Poisonous sulfuric gases. So, Naveen, this was one word. Poisonous sulfuric gases saturated the air. So, if you can repeat this,
Uh, uh, One second. Poisonous
it's in
sulfuric gases situated in the air.
okay. And then these heavy gases were not buoyant in the atmosphere and therefore sank toward the earth and suffocated people. So, suffocated is another word that you did not pronounce correctly. So, suffocated people, and I hope everybody knows the meaning of this. Or are there any other words in the first three paragraphs that you want to learn the meaning of? And you can even ping it in the chat options. If there are any words that you want to talk about, just ping it in the chat and we can get to that. And Naveen, you can read the last paragraph.
Over the years, excavation of Pompeii and Herculaneum have related a great deal about the behavior of the volcano. By analyzing data, much geologists, districts, and animal species scientists have scientists have concluded that the European uh, change large proportions of the area ge- geography. For instance, it, it turned it turned the Samo River from its course and raised the level of the beach along the Bay of Naples. Meteorologists studying these events have also concluded that Vespuccius caused the huge tidal wave that affected the world's climate. I am audible, ma'am.
Sorry, I was on mute. I just realized it. Over the years, excavations of Pompeii and Herculaneum have revealed a great deal about the behavior of the volcano. By analyzing the data, much as a zoologist dissects an animal specimen, dissects, you guys know that word, when you dissect an animal, like cut it open and do the research. Scientists have concluded that the eruption changed large proportions of the area's geography. For instance, it turned the Sarno River from its course and raised the level of the beach along the Bay of Naples. So, Naples, another word, Naveen. Meteorologists studying these events have also concluded that Vesuvius caused a huge tidal wave that affected the world's climate. And so, meteorologists, this is a new word probably for everyone. It means the people who forecast the weather. They are called meteorologists.
Study
So,
of weather,
are
ma'am. Meteorologist, study of weather.
sorry, can you repeat that?
Ma'am, study of weather, it is called meteorologist.
No, so people who do this, so the study of this is called meteorology, and then the people who study are meteorologists. So this is so what is meteorology? It's when people study the weather, they forecast the weather, all of those things. They forecast any storms or all of those things, anything related to weather. Okay, so do you guys want to read another one, or or should we meet next week?
Yes, ma'am. Time is now 7 approx. So we can.
Okay, okay, fine. So then, yeah, I think let's. Is it seven there, right?
So you can also, ma'am, give me some homework types so I can read out.
So I mean, so one thing that I want to say is that like whatever we have, like every day we are learning new words, right?
Yes.
So what we can do is like let's start making a list of those words and use them in a sentence. Like for each word, write a sentence on your own, because then you will learn the word. So like for example, one of the words that we learned today was meteorologist. So write that word, write the meaning, and then write a sentence to learn it. So that is one thing. And then just try, I mean, and then like once we read, so like every day try to, if we learn like 10 words, so so today you learn 10 words, tomorrow you learn another 10 words, so you have 20 in total. So like you just keep adding new words on your list. So and then practice the pronunciations of them, and also like the meaning, and learn the meaning of them. That would be something. Then try to read the new any one English newspaper, and we can discuss any new words. So like when we meet next, what we can do is that we can, if there are any new words that you have heard somewhere, read somewhere, let's talk about it. Everybody will get to learn it. Even I will learn some of the new words with you. So yeah, we can do that. Like read as much, and then make a list of the words that you have learned, and then some of the words that you want to discuss. So like everybody come with two words for the class, and then we teach, everybody learns 5-10 new words every day. So we can do that. So that is something you can do, Naveen, for practicing like reading, and then making a list of these words, because if you will not write it and revise it, you'll forget it.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay then. Yeah, thank you everyone.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank
Okay.
you so much, ma'am. Have a nice day.
Thank you so much for.
Yeah,
So,
thank
ma'am,
you.
we will meet on Sunday, ma'am.
No, I can do Saturday. So you guys, until what time? You guys meet from 5:30 to 6:30, 5:30 to 7, right?
Yes, yes, ma'am.
Yeah, I can try to join. So I have like a class from 5:30 to 6:30 every day. So if I can, I'll try to join from 5 to 5:30 on weekdays.
5 to 5:30.
No, like 5:30 to 6
Okay,
your
okay.
time.
Okay.
5:30 to 6 your time, that will be 5 to 5:30 my time. Like I'm 11 and a half hours behind. So that will be the time. But if not, then I will definitely join on Saturday. Saturday, Sunday are my off days, so I can join them. But just on weekdays, it's fine. You know, on some days I can be available, but I'll just join. And I can. I have your WhatsApp number, Pankaj, so I can message you that when I can
Oh,
join.
oh, okay.
Okay, all right.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay,
Yeah,
ma'am.
Thank
thank
Thank you,
you.
ma'am.
Okay.